Alright, hey y'all, and welcome back. We got 4 time trials to deal with today. Let's get it on! Starting with the Dread Swamp Path. As per the norm, taking up the doing one or two runs on screen, and doing 1 or 2 runs on screen. Come on. No, you can fucking make it. I've done it before. That's enough time wasted, so let's restart, and the second one, if I don't make it, we're skipping ahead till I do. I'm gonna take an alternate shortcut. The alternate shortcut being over there. Barely possible. You know what? I'm going to test this out, and we'll see y'all with the successful run. There we go. Alright, not too terrible. 10 minutes. Lair of the Beast. This one will be a little worse. that's gonna lose me a good bit of time. Well, because the game decided I did not, as a matter of fact, hit the damn circle button. Fucking... okay. There we go. Okay. Only about 6 minutes, not bad. 2 down, 2 to go. A grave undertaking. What? Come on, really? Now you're just fucking taunting me. Apparently that doesn't kill him. Wonderful. Okay, that won't break barriers. Alright, we'll see you when I get the successful run. No, come on. I got time for this shit. There we go. 30 minutes. God, that was an annoying one. Okay. Just one time trial left, and I imagine this one's gonna be equally annoying. Descent into danger. Okay, see you when I get it. Okay, fucking finally. Jesus crap. That was 20 minutes. But that's the last one. Alright. Developer commentary, and then we'll see y'all next time for Chinatown. Well, China.
I like the smart guard a lot.
The who?
I like the rodent, the big voodoo rat.
For everyone who can't see Andrew, he's a dead ringer for the voodoo rodent.
It's a startling resemblance. I was scared when I first met Andrew. I actually hit him with a stick repeatedly. And I will again right now.
Ow. The voodoo rodent was one of the few in this world where I could actually sort of act out what I wanted him to do to any extent, and so he's the most humanoid, I guess.
You act out all of your characters?
I act out, yeah. I find that I think I was saying this on one of the other levels, but I find that, and I make this mistake over and over again of thinking, oh, I know what this guy needs to do, and I just start animating and looking at it from the outside, and I find if I don't actually do the action myself and sort of feel what it feels like in the body and make sure that the posture and the gestures all kind of feel right internally, then it's much more of a struggle to animate it. People say especially that the walk for this guy looks like something I would do. I don't think I really walk like that, but I did do that a lot during the week that I was animating him. And
you call them smart guards.
Yeah, the smart guards are that's kind of our internal sort of word for any of the guards that are the flashlight bearing guards that you really want to stay away from, and if they catch you, it's pretty much doomsday. So they're kind of an element of gameplay to really emphasize stealth and convince you that it's not okay just to randomly run through the world bashing things.
They're actually called smart because you can't evade them, or at least not easily without taking damage, so that every time you dealt with them, you had to be sneaky.
I think some of the repeatedly used pieces were really effective in this, like the way the huts, you have this sense that you're in this big village, and it's a few sort of simple pieces, repeated and decorated with some smaller sort of elements around them, and I don't know, when you're down in and amongst them, it feels like it feels like a rich environment. It feels like you're in this little village of stone teepees.
It doesn't look like the same hut over and over again. They each look like they're their own individual hut. When I saw this game for the first time, after already having done the voices, I hadn't seen it when I did the voices, and I just had all these lines. Here is the actual visualization of everything that I had read in the script.
One of the things that's sort of interesting about this level, it's the first one that actually has a big shot to open the level. As we were developing the product, this was the first game level
that we built and had that, yeah.
Yeah, so that there's a really low camera looking up at the gate to try and give the sense that there was something very large inside, and to kind of be imposing, like the gate in the original King Kong movie.
Right.
When they get off the boat, there were all these natives who are sort of fearing the other side of the gate. We're trying to get that vibe across with this initial shot. Also, one of the sort of the design goals for the level was to focus on Sly's rail run move. So there are a lot of branches that you can jump on, and feeling pretty ninja-like as you can move on these surfaces that a normal person can't. So Sly, being upgraded to the point of near Master Thief, is able to traverse the treetops in this very cool kind of anime way.
Yeah, I always thought it was really cool how he moved sort of between using his hook and his feet, and doing regular landings and sliding and running uphill. It just feels like he covers a lot of different sort of modes and the way you move through it. And I remember, actually, before we had the control scheme worked out, you had to use different buttons to land with your feet and grab with your hook, and it would just explode your mind to try and play this level because you're trying to run away from this giant snake and still remember to hit the circle for this and the square for that or whatever it was, but I just remember it being very sort of exhausting to play in its original control scheme.
Yeah, you really had to memorize the buttons.
How about the modeling on the trees? What were some of the challenges you faced?
Actually, going over poly budget was the biggest challenge, I think, because they're such cool, scary shapes. We wanted to get out of that, and to get the kind of gnarled branches that we wanted. It was easy to go over poly budget, and there's so many of them that just added up to be kind of a nightmare. We had to go back in and redo some of the modeling and kind of limit our use of the trees, but it turned out looking pretty good, I think.
Did you have to go through any kind of special rigmarole to make sure that the true gameplay path was clean? But I mean, because there are a lot of kind of side branches
Right.
that don't look playable, yet they exist in the world.
Yeah, I pretty much went through the game tree by tree and placed each branch with a reason. I didn't just go in and just start
Do every branch.
Every branch
Wow.
has a reason.
Well, that's
I mean, you can see it.
every branch that's in the gameplay zone, right? Because
Right.
there's those
Yeah.
top branches that you can never get to.
Right, the top branches aren't too bad, but some of the branches sticking out of the side of the trunk are separate models,
Yeah.
and I put them in there only for visual reasons and to get them out of the way, if they were in the way of gameplay.
Gomerville's inspired when we were modeling, it was the first one for Voodoo, so it was really supposed to decide the style of architecture and land. And we spent a lot of time on the trees because we realized it was 1/3 of the whole level.
And I worked on the maps inspired by Kay Nielsen's paintings and specifically the 12 Dancing Princesses, old fairy tale from I think around the turn of the century. Kay Nielsen was also the person that inspired the scene in Fantasia with the real droopy trees, and it's got a real cathedral-like scene as the people are all moving through the trees with the candles, and it adds to the mysteriousness of this level.
The kind of original game mechanic for this level was just having NPCs that aren't just, you walk up and you hit them and you kill them. They're NPCs that are getting generated from something. You have to fight them down to get to their source and then take out their source. So that's where it started. And luckily, since we're in Voodoo, having them be ghosts makes a lot more sense than a lot of other NPCs. So once Andrew got in and did the modeling and animation of Travis's design for that round ghost, it really took off, because just having the fingers going while he's kind of chasing after you. I love the ghosts in this level.
Yeah. And a lot of the great camera angles you see is not by the modeler, it's all by the game designer. And so it's really great to have, we really put a focus on getting great cameras from the get-go, and then I'll go in and compose, but it's really nice. We really lock them off and let me work with what the camera is, so we don't change any gameplay, and we just enhance the experience more by just sculpting.
Also, I think in the inspiration of a lot of the art style, I think Dev and Travis gathered a lot of research from all kinds of tribal original peoples' architecture and props, and the lanterns and the gourds and the ropes and the bones, and it's pretty much all organic, based on what you would have if you were living without a mill to mill your lumber with. And keeping it all organic is part of the fun of this one.
Yeah, we decided to instead of making a moss a buddy or having it be just a bitmap, we decided to model and just make it puffy, which made it very toony.
The whole waterfalls of soup with the hands and the bones in it are very much inspired by the scene where they're going into get the or whatever, there you see this big cauldron of soup that has hands and all this gory stuff in it, and I was like, well, it's nice as in a pot, but as a waterfall, I would like that
Boy,
very much.
that really grosses me out. Made me happy. Yeah, actually, yeah, we all like.
I just thought
Yeah.
that was your thing. I didn't realize
The
there was
grosser
an
it is, the
inspiration.
happier
Yes.
Karen you are, the grosser it is.
Yes.
The more chunks and bits and nibbins,
The more
ribbons and gristle,
the juicier it is.
the better.
Yeah, originally we were experimenting with how to the very first one had like the floor and the ceiling were two separate objects, and the walls were skinned between them. So when the floor, like you would jump on the floor and the floor would move around and the whole walls would stretch and distort. But
Like being on a tongue.
being on a tongue that's pulling on the cheek or something, right?
Yeah.
The floor was like a trampoline, and then the entryways would stretch and distort, so the actual doorways would get smaller and bigger. And
Right.
it's kind of a clever idea.
Getting fitting the number of smart guards in this level that we wanted was pretty difficult, because these were probably the most ambitious smart guards in terms of just the number of animated pieces they had, was I think more than we tried to put in one before, and so we ended up having to do all this clever stuff to get them all in there and get them animating like we wanted. Really, there's the difference between like the initial texture pass in a level and when Karen has time to go in and put all these like light cobwebs and all this really nice atmospheric sort of stuff. Atmospheric, like texture buddies and just texture, like, kind of accessories in the world. It really makes a ton of difference. And this world really feels like it got a decent pass at that.
Yeah.
I think we really wanted this level, even the NPCs. We wanted to kind of make it a little bit more scary, and push that angle a little bit more. It's still stylized and has this animated feel, but we wanted it to be, the glowing eyes. I think Hokyo did a great job of kind of integrating all the NPCs by giving them all the same sort of
Same
glowing
feel.
eyes. Yeah. And,
Real consistency.
exactly.
All right, and with that, the Swamp of Desires, Ms. Ruby, the Vicious Voodoo chapter is 100% completed. Brings us up to 71%. And we're just missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cutscenes. So, when we come back,
Travel plans to China have all been worked out.
we'll be heading off to China. Cheers, y'all.